It's the Cool Kids Club. You've been invited to the Cool Kids Club. It's so exciting, yeah. Justin likes monsters, yeah. And Amy likes words in the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cool Kids Club podcast. What are you laughing at?
That was
Already?
it was very energetic.
But
It was, hey everybody, ho!
I was trying to bring the noise and bring the funk right here
You did a good job of it.
at the
It was
start.
it was just a lot of high energy.
Well, welcome back to the Cool Kids Club podcast.
Hello,
Hello, my name is Amy.
and I am Justin. I am one of America's favorite siblings.
Yeah.
Trademark pending. Ha 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 ha.
We gotta be energetic, and you know why?
Because we're doing a podcast.
Well, we're doing a pod. Yeah, we gotta bring the noise and bring the funk always. But this is really the year of guests because
It is a ton of
we
guests.
have. I feel like we're truly doing like a season 4, like you know how the first like several episodes of like season 3 of 30 Rock is like big guest stars. There's,
People
like, a
don't
big
know
guest
30 Rock the way
star.
you and I know 30 Rock, Amy.
But it's like, like Oprah and Steve like that's what we're doing with the start of season 4 here is we're just like heavy hitters like out the gate. And we have another returning guest
Our
today.
Oprah apparently.
It is our Oprah. We have Leilani with us today. Leilani, welcome.
Hello, hi. I'm so happy to be back.
Yay!
So happy
And
to have
you were
you.
just on not too long ago, so great to see you again.
I'm excited.
Yes, Leilani was just on for our 100th. If you have not gone and watched that, that's right, watched it.
That's right.
Because it was a video.
It was a video. It's
It
better
was a
in
video.
video, I'd say.
Yeah, it was good
Yeah.
either way, but it's really something else in video.
Really something special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see me mugging at the camera like Jim on The Office, where
Yeah,
I just
like
look straight down and I'm like
cheating out to the camera the whole time. Yeah.
See, this is great because it's an audio format,
Uh-huh.
so this makes for great podcasting.
It's very good. Well, it's a good podcast, and I stand by it.
I stand by it.
As you should.
So this topic today, guys,
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm in the dark. I don't know if we've ever done a topic I know less about.
Wow.
So I'm really gonna lean on you guys. I'm really gonna.
Okay.
I'm assuming Leilani is here to help school me on this today.
I definitely am. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I think this was something we talked about after we cut on the 100th episode. We talked about how this topic was coming up, and we were trying to get you back on for an episode, and I mentioned that this topic was coming up, and you were like, absolutely. So Leilani, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Lizzie McGuire.
Yes.
One of my favorites, for sure.
Absolutely. Something that, and I have to say, I know this is video format, or this is audio, but I am sitting here looking at Leilani, and she has a Lizzie McGuire shirt on. She has little braids in her hair. She has hair accessories. She has earrings. She has full Lizzie McGuire out because that's what our guests do for
Looks
this.
great. Looks great.
I was inspired.
Yeah.
Yes, very much. The hair is next level for Lizzie McGuire, which we'll get into, of course.
We will get into. That's one of the biggest things, actually, that I think about when I think of the show is the hair and the fashion.
Me too.
It was such a inspiration for me at the time. And now you and I, Leilani, are the same age. So
yes,
we were like 8th grade when this came out, like end of 8th grade.
Yeah. So did it come out in 01?
It started January of 01.
Okay.
So we would have been in high school.
I think we were in high school. See, that was the thing that I found as I was like rewatching, doing a little rewatch research. I was like, okay, I was a little older than this, but I was still really, I've always liked younger kid stuff, but I was really drawn to the show, even though I was like kind of a little older than Lizzie in the show. And not really into the same kind of thing, but I still just loved watching Lizzie McGuire all
I
throughout
think I
high
was the
school.
same. Yeah, because we were in ninth grade. I remember even at the time being like, do I like tell people I mean, she's only supposed to be like 2 years older than us or younger than us. But I
Right.
remember being like, can I talk about watching the show? Like, is it like for babies? But
I
it
know.
wasn't.
No.
Like, it's not like I was watching Barney at like 14, you know? I
But,
mean,
those ages, you're like but I was always one of those kids, and I always loved Disney Channel, and
yeah.
really, y'all talked about this before with the Nickelodeon or Disney,
Yeah.
side
Yeah,
story,
yeah.
Yeah.
but I love Nickelodeon, like, I
Yeah.
obviously, who didn't love
Yeah.
Nickelodeon? But, like, I always had Disney, I've always lived way out in the country, and we
Yeah.
always had to have Disney as, like, a part of our cable, but I have to
Okay.
say that it wasn't until probably, like, the really late '90s to,
Yeah.
like, early 2000s where Disney even picked it up at all, so we didn't have all the tons of options like Nickelodeon did with all, like, the
Okay.
original programming until I feel
Okay.
like this was, like, the prime time for Disney Channel was, like, 2000, Lizzie McGuire, like,
Oh,
all that kind of stuff.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, when I was doing research for the notes for this episode, I looked because I remember, as we've mentioned many times, we did not have Disney Channel except for free
Right.
preview weekends. So, we would just get a taste every now and then. But this era, this Lizzie McGuire, like even Stevens, this
Mhm.
era, like the kind of late 90s, the Disney Channel original movie becoming a huge thing, which we've done an episode on.
Look, I can't
Um,
even talk to y'all about that though, because how my heart was broken whenever I was not a part of that episode.
oh
Now
Oh,
April was on that
no.
one, and
no!
I'm a
April
huge
was on
She
that
April
one.
was.
fan, huge, but I was like, "Oh, I'm a DCOM girl," like,
I mean,
yeah, so I was like, "Oh, they
Well,
did that episode."
honestly, we could do a sequel and have both of you on because
I
there's
would
enough of them. We could just
maybe
focus on a
it would
couple.
be like Twitch's 2
yeah,
TOO.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, we
it'd
should
be
think,
like
It would be
Decom
like
Steven
the
Part
knows.
2.
sequel.
The
Yes!
Yeah, it'd be like
sequel.
Xenon the sequel.
Let's maybe think about that for
We'll
the
think
future.
on
We'll
that.
talk. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I remember looking and being like, okay, when did Disney Channel become like free, based not a paid
Yeah,
channel, part of basic cable? And the internet told me that they started transitioning in 97,
okay,
but it really wasn't like most people still didn't have it till about 2000. And I'm
that
like,
makes sense.
that makes complete sense
Be
because
yeah,
I started watching it about then, and
mhm,
even though, Lizzie McGuire and even Stevens and all those shows at that time were a little more middle school,
mhm,
I was ninth grade, so and you
right,
and I were both ninth grade, so it still was very, like, even though we may not like, the topics may not have been like, we didn't care about, like, making the cheerleading team necessarily,
right,
but,
right.
like, first of all, the fashion
The fashion's
was
enough.
so spot on of that time and was so, like, aspirational that I
Yes.
think it was kind of like you could have been 6 or you could have been 18 and you'd have been like, "That's what I wanna dress like."
It's
So
giving, like, Mary Kate and Ashley, like, the same thing we talked
oh,
about before, you know?
100%,
Yeah,
yes. Yes.
and even though I
Um,
was so different from that vibe, but, like, everyone was still in like, secretly, I wanted to wear my hair like that and stuff, you
a
know?
and it's funny because on the show, Lizzie is, obviously she's the main character, and she's portrayed as being, like, more shy and like,
Yes,
"Don't look at me, like, I'm
yes,
not popular," and yet she's wearing the most outrageous shit you've ever seen, and Miranda, her best friend, is quite confident and is
yes,
like, "Don't fuck with me," um, and is also wearing those same so I'm like, "You all dress exactly the same," like, in reality, and probably you as well, like, when
yes,
you are 13, 14, and you're like, "No one perceive me, please." Like, I'm already, like, really tall
right,
and, like,
really
kinda
awkward.
really awkward and gangly, I have braces. So, like, I'm not wearing 4 patterns to get yeah, I don't have the confidence for
Right, the
that.
rhinestones, the fuzziness, the hair color, I mean, it's
Yes,
wild. Like, these
it's
outfits
wild.
are, like, from another planet.
It reminded me and I know we're all over the place,
Yeah,
and
we're
poor
whatever.
Justin is just like, "Oh, man."
He's like, "What
But
is
No,
this?"
I'm just sitting back and enjoying and getting educated
good, I'm
because we are
glad,
first and
I'm
foremost
glad.
educators.
It's true. I hope you've got your notebook out and you're taking notes.
Will I be tested on this material later?
There will be a quiz at the
pop
end,
quiz.
yes.
Oh.
Remember when we used to do quizzes at the end?
I love y'all's quizzes.
Remember when
Oh,
I
yeah,
was the carpet from Aladdin?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
proud
that
about
was a
that.
highlight. I
That
love
was that was
You
an
know.
early highlight. That's when we knew we had something. But yeah, speaking about just real quick how wild, insane the fashion was. I recently, I'll say rewatch because I remember maybe watching it like one time in high school, but not since. The movie Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen
Okay, it's been a while
with
for me, but
Lindsay Lohan
I can
m-
imagine.
came out in 2004, and I'm
Okay.
just gonna pop that in there. Watch that.
I definitely will.
It's the most insane. I'm like, how did this movie even get made? They're doing like, it's outrageous. It
You're
is the Lizzie
speechless.
McGuire outfit. I was speechless. I literally was like, this is so bad I can't turn it off. Is it so bad I love it? Maybe.
Exactly, because I did a rewatch. I watched like several episodes of Lizzie, and
Yes.
there's some still kind of hold up, but there are some that I'm like, wow, like
Yeah.
how did we ever? Like it's wild.
Yeah. I mean, even when you're watching like the pilot, it's so like, it's rough. It's a rough cut. It's sort of like a rough, and I'm just like, how do they?
What's rough about it? Just like how it's made?
Yeah, I guess like how it's made, like the storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, well, the first couple episodes of anything are so awkward where they're finding their footing and everything. But now it only technically had 2 seasons, but it ran for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Had 65 total episodes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Back when those seasons were long.
I know.
Yeah.
So like we said, it started in January 2004, or I'm sorry, 2001, and ended in February of 2004.
Okay.
But I think they stopped production in 2003. So, they didn't air. They aired the last several. But do you want to give us, Leilani, a little rundown of the characters? I mean, obviously we have Lizzie, who is our heroine. But do you want to give us a bit of a rundown of everyone on the show? Like, what's this show about? Who's in it?
So the show's about, our main character, Lizzie, and then it follows her along with her 2 best friends, Miranda and Gordo. Everyone loves Gordo.
Did you have a crush on Gordo?
I did. Now I've looked, he's a little short. He's a little bit short. And this is a short crew. He's a short king, but he's a short king. I looked him up the other day. He's still very, he's a cute man, but he's a short king. So, but see, Lizzie's only like 5'1" or something. She's or 5'2".
Yeah, so it works for her. Now, to me, I was at this point in my life already 5'10", so everyone was a short king. Literally, I'm 6 feet now. So
Amy was 6'11". At this point,
at that point,
approaching 7 feet tall.
Right. So it was just,
that's how it felt.
What can we do?
I have terrible
I
posture.
can't imagine.
I'm always just like,
exactly. During that age, you hadn't grown into the
last thing I wanted to do was be 8 inches taller than every boy in my class. But here we are. Like, God damn.
Here I am lumbering over all of them.
I know. Would anyone like to slow dance with me? Like, fucking shit.
Can you hear me?
I'm gonna put my hair in big pigtails with pom poms on it, like Lizzie McGuire.
I can't.
I look like I just came out of a mental institution. Jesus.
Oh, I'm dying. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, Gordo, our short king.
Okay. Our short king.
So they're the 3 besties, and they're just like navigating junior high. It's a very like coming of age story.
Very, yes.
But you also have, of course, Lizzie has to have an annoying younger brother, Matt.
Yes.
The Ferguson.
Exactly.
Exactly what I was thinking of.
Same idea. And she also has that, best guy friend like Sam and Clarissa with Gordo.
Yeah.
Right. And then of course there's Kate, who is like kind of her arch nemesis. She's super
Yeah.
popular, super
Mhm.
like perfect girl at school.
Yeah.
Ethan
Used
Kraft.
to be
Mhm.
friends. That gives an extra layer because she used to be friends with Lizzie and Miranda like in elementary
Right,
school.
that's like the
And then
backstory.
she got like real pretty and popular and made the cheerleading squad, and now she's
She's too
above
cool,
them
and
and
she's one of
she's mean
those.
to them. Yeah.
She's mean to them. She makes it clear they're
Yeah.
losers, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ethan Kraft, he's the cool guy, and of course Lizzie has a big crush on him, but like everyone has a crush on him. Miranda has a
Mhm.
crush on him. Kate has a crush on him. All that.
Gordo
Then of
might. I
course,
mean, we're not sure.
right. Then a fun part of the show is that there's animated Lizzie,
I
who's
know.
like her inner monologue type
Mhm.
thing,
Mhm.
which is really cute. I always loved animated Lizzie, and then her
Yes.
parents are a huge part of the show too, and I love them.
Yes, her parents are great. So her father is played by Robert Carradine,
And
which I
now
think is
Decom, he's in My Mom's Got a Date with the Vampire, which is one
he
of
is?
yeah, I think he's like is he the vampire?
No,
He's someone
that's
in
Mr. Sheffield is the
okay, so
vampire.
he's just
Mr.
in that, I think.
Sheffield from The Nanny.
Okay, yeah, he's the vampire. You're very right.
Mhm. Mhm. That is one of my favorites.
Me too. I love that
Um,
one.
oh god, that's such a good one. I watch that like every
Kindred
Halloween now.
spirits.
And
He
Phantom from the Megaplex.
okay, he's someone in it, but anyway, he's not the vampire though. You're very right.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Oh, Phantom of the Megaplex, I love. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. But I
Um,
love her parents in this. And a lot of times,
yes.
maybe it's because on the rewatch, I am watching like through different eyes because I did look up how old like her Lizzie's
Oh
mom
god.
was, and she's like the same age as us. And like she was supposed to be at the time, you
Correct.
know, like our
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm relating more to her, but I really loved Lizzie's parents. Like I just thought they were so
Yes.
cute. I love their family dynamic. I love their
They're
house.
very they're very close knit. They love each other very much. Like it's a good positive dynamic. Like
Right.
even though the little brother's annoying, like they still care about each other. It's not like too one note with the brother. Like he's not
Right, it's really
always
not.
like annoying her. Like they got like I don't know. It is a good dynamic. I remember I did watch a handful of episodes today and was
Mhm.
like, oh, her parents are so sweet
I
and
really
so
liked them.
supportive. They're just like her
They're actually
cheerleaders.
super supportive, like, even though Matt's just, like, a little weirdo,
Yeah, he
there's a
is.
whole episode where he keeps doing, like, all these just ridiculous things, like stealing people's, like, oranges off their tree and selling them, and, like, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and, like, they're so supportive of him throughout
I
all of
know.
his, hijinks, and the same
The
with Lizzie, and I love
Yeah,
that.
I do too.
Yeah,
I love
very
it.
cute,
They're good. They're good parents, good sitcom parents for sure.
very cute.
Um, yeah, I love the animated Lizzie. So Justin, there is this um animation of like kind of what you'd imagine like
Can you see?
I mean,
Oh,
oh
yeah,
yeah, there
there
you
she is.
go. There you
I
go.
have
Is
the
that
Taking
a little
Funko
taking
Pop.
notes.
Funko?
Yeah, I have the Funko Pop, everyone, and it's
Animated.
so cute,
Oh
and
my
there's a
god.
little animated Lizzie that comes with it.
I did not know that existed, and now I'm gonna have to have
You have
it.
to get that. So
Uh-oh.
but yeah,
Um,
it's a little animated,
little animated, like her little conscience slash inner
And does it like
thoughts.
pop up on her shoulder or something?
It doesn't, it's like they'll like cut to like an she's almost like animated within to like she's like sitting on the table and it'll like cut, like cut to her
Okay.
like sitting there, like and there'll be like a little animation and then it cuts back to the
yeah.
um to the
Okay.
live action stuff. She's always her staple outfit are
Yeah.
these like cropped, flared like a culotte
Yes.
situation,
Yes.
and then big orange platform flip flops,
Yes.
and
A
like a
pink.
crop pink
Yep.
top.
Yep.
Yeah, and she oftentimes has like a feather boa, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
she's like the coolest version of Lizzie.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
She's the ultimate uh incarnation.
Yes, yes. It's her
The
final
the
form.
final boss. Yeah.
It's her final form.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, so yeah, this ran for about 3 years, 65 episodes, and obviously during this time and then beyond, Hilary Duff became a really big star.
Oh, yeah.
This show really catapulted her into teen star, like, fandom or whatever, like, a teen stardom is what I mean, but, like,
Yes.
um, so throughout this very short 3-year run, she started, I mean, she was in, like, Casper and Wendy, she was Wendy in that. I mean, she
Right.
had some little things, but this was, like, really her very popular, um, which ended up sort of being the downfall of the show. Um, from what I could gather, there essentially it ended up ending because of some contract disputes with her and Disney. Um,
Right.
Although similarly, a lot of Disney shows end around the 65 episode mark, so they
It
may
kind
have
of runs
been,
its course, you know?
yeah, they may have been like re-looking to up her contract and things
Right.
just didn't work out or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but also there was some reported like feuding, quote unquote, with Lelaine, who
Right.
was the girl who played Miranda. Now do you remember hearing about that at the time at all?
I really don't remember, but I
Mhm.
but I know whenever like, the reboot was going on, I
Mhm.
kind of was, like, really into that. Yeah, of course, who wasn't? Really into
Yeah.
the reboot, so I was
Yeah.
reading some stuff about that whenever it was still potentially gonna happen, and
Uh-huh.
they were showing us those pictures, and, I mean,
Yeah.
Hilary Duff looked like the perfect
Like
grown-up
adult. Yes.
adult Lizzie, and I was, I remember Gordo was in them and stuff, and then I was, like, reading about it, and that's really whenever I was figuring out that there was some sort of conflict between them,
Because
which you're
she
always
wasn't
like,
gonna be in the revival, was she? Yeah.
I don't think she was. I mean, I did see a little clip of, like, one of the guys that was involved, and he was saying that they did have a storyline for her planned, but I don't know that
Okay.
she was ever fully committed.
Or they were gonna,
Not
like,
that I
recast her or something, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Mm,
But
okay.
I
So
didn't know about
what
that
did
at
this
the
feud
time.
stem from? They just didn't get along, or was there like
So, there was a book that came out, and I don't know, if this is just rumor, but there's a book that came out called Disney High: The
Yes.
Untold Story of the Rise and Fall of Disney Channel's Tween Empire, which now I feel
Yes.
like I need to read.
I have It's so
Um,
funny because I have that in my to be read, but I haven't picked that up yet, so I'm gonna have to
really?
get that, yes.
So I didn't realize it was even a thing, but this I think came out last year. So from what the book said, so Lelaine, who was the girl who played Miranda, and then Hilary Duff, of course, they were very, very, very close on the
Mhm.
show. Like did a lot together. They were very close, and it kind of tension started when, so Miranda the character is very into, she wants to be a musician one day. She's very into
Right,
musical stuff. So she sings a song in the show towards the end in season 1,
right.
and apparently, Hilary Duff went on to have a music career, and apparently, which,
Yeah,
and apparently
if we call it that. Okay.
her and her mom were upset because the long game was always going to be that maybe this was going to help Hilary Duff's music career, and they felt like having Lelaine get to sing on the show first was like
Okay.
they were setting her up. So it kind of started there, and just
Mm,
sort of grew. So
interesting. Because
yeah.
she wasn't in the movie for sure. I rewatched the movie.
No, she's not. And
And
she is kind of written out of the last 5 or 6 episodes of the show.
okay, I thought I remembered that. Okay.
Now she did go on and was filming You Wish, which is a, excuse me, Disney Channel original movie.
Right.
Um, so I don't know if they were, but I mean, it sounds to me like she was just like done with it. And
Yeah,
I could
that's what it seems.
see Hilary Duff being a diva, particularly what is she, 16?
Right.
And also like when your mom's involved and your mom's your manager, and like, I could
Right.
see that possibly. But gosh, to hold like a grudge and not be coming back for the revival or anything, something must have gone down there.
It sounds like
drama?
something went down for sure. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I hadn't rewatched the movie in so long. So of course,
Mhm.
after the the show, or around the same time that the show ends, right? Like in, I think, 2003,
Yes.
they have the Lizzie McGuire movie, which I
Oh my
think
god,
is
I love
another
that
really
movie.
big thing a lot of us love. Now, did you
Yeah.
rewatch it, Amy? Or have you watched it recently?
No, and I was going to do it, but I ran out of time, but now
Okay.
I think I am going to.
You should.
I see stuff about it online all the time.
You know, you
Uh,
just it it's of course it's fine, but I can see why I liked it then, and now rewatching it, I'm kind of
like with
questioning
most Mary-Kate and Ashley movies,
it.
you're like,
And, you know, it's so much like a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. Of course, you have the fashion montage, which you have to have in
"Oh, you
every
have to
movie like
have."
that,
Uh-huh.
but also, she even rides off with a boy from another country on a
Mhm.
Vespa, which, I mean,
Allah.
how many of these movies told us that was gonna happen to us? Like,
I have yet to even be on a Vespa,
I've
let
not seen a
alone with a
Vespa.
boy from another country. I have been lied to.
I've completely lied to. But yeah, one of the best parts of the movie, of course, in the Lizzie McGuire movie, the point is, they are off to Rome for like a end of junior high.
End of junior high, they're going to Rome.
End of junior high. At first, I thought, oh, have we time jumped into like high school? No, this was the end of junior high trip.
Mhm.
Miranda was off somewhere else, like with her
We
family.
went to Washington, D.C.
But to put you in perspective
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
um,
anyway.
of course, Gordo's
Most people
there.
probably don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we didn't go
correct.
anywhere. Yeah. So, anyway, and as Lizzie's there, she's approached by this guy named Paolo, right? And
Mhm,
he becomes her like love interest
mhm.
throughout, but really he's trying to get close to her because he's a singer, he's a famous singer, and he has a singing partner named Isabella, who Lizzie looks exactly like. It's Lizzie, but in
With
a,
dark hair.
dark wig.
It's
And
Hilary Duff in a dark wig,
it's
yeah.
Hilary Duff in a dark wig. Think like Hannah Montana, except it is supposed to be two different people.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
really supposed to be this other girl. And the best part is at the end, they have a big, like the big finale is they have like a sing, the song, Hey Now, Hey
Hey
Now.
now.
We
Hey
know it.
now, this
This
is what
is what
dreams are made
dreams.
of.
You know it. Come
The
on,
people
Justin.
love when we sing.
Yeah,
Justin, you've heard that one,
come
right?
on, you know it. Um,
Probably not.
he's
Come
like,
on, everybody
absolutely.
get up if you know this one.
So Hillary or Lizzie sings
Uh-huh.
it, but Hillary singing this song, and it is so funny to me with her musical career and listening back. I mean, she can hardly hold a tune, and
Oh,
it's
bless
so
her.
funny. And so I was watching this and I'm like, it's clearly two different people singing. So
Oh,
I'm like,
it's
it's so bad,
obviously.
and it's so obvious, and I read that it was actually Haley Duff singing some of the, like, more difficult parts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's very funny.
Because now there was a bit of a beef between the sisters at one point too,
I
I
Is there
believe.
still? I think that there might still be a beef between them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of beefs,
Okay.
um, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the iconic Christmas episode of Lizzie McGuire featuring Aaron Carter,
Aaron Carter. I watched
um,
that one.
playing Aaron Carter.
Of course.
And it's like, obviously the girls are all in love with him, and Lizzie gets to meet him. And
Yes,
this sparked a real life romance between Hilary Duff and Aaron Carter.
he
And there
did.
was apparently some beef because he was like dating her and dating Lindsay Lohan at the same time. And the girls
Yes.
were like,
I
about it.
I read too that whenever they were considering people for the role of Lizzie McGuire,
Uh-huh.
online it said that Lindsay Lohan was also considered for this
That
role. So I
totally would
think,
make sense. Yeah.
there could have already been a little bit, they might have already known each other.
I'm
But yeah,
sure
the
they were
Aaron Carter thing.
oftentimes going out for the same roles. So
Exactly, so
the same guy. Yeah. Yeah.
so funny.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And at the end of that episode, they do like the entire I Want Candy like music video,
Yeah, they do.
and it's all Christmas themed.
It's on Christmas Eve. Justin, it's so good. And
Is it?
and by that I mean it's not great.
I mean, not that good upon
W-
revisit.
But
That's
God,
like 80% of the topics we cover, things that are
It's just
really not
so
that great,
nostalgic,
but we love them.
but we love it.
but you know
Exactly.
what? Watching back, I'm like, I still love this. And it really like there are very few things at that time in my life. So we'll say, like, even though this came out when I was a freshman, we'll
Mhm.
say like middle school into high school. There are very few things that I feel like um had that much of an impact on how I will say how I wanted to look, how I
Me
wanted to
too.
perceive myself. Now, again, we talked about like I didn't really have the confidence, I didn't have the body type, I didn't have the things that allowed me to really actually dress that way or be that way, but this is what I wanted.
Mhm.
Um, and it was this, and it was Kirsten Dunst and Bring It On. Like, they're so specific to that I can like 2000 to 2001. I feel like it was for me, it was all about that. I'm like, I wanted to have short shoulder length hair and wear it in braided pigtails
Oh, yeah.
with bandanas or crochet like that's the vibe that I wanted.
It's amazing,
And
and, it's so funny because, okay, these were really, really awkward times for me too, but I would have to say mine was, like, at this point, whenever I was a freshman, I dyed my hair black. I was getting into, like, the, you know, goth, emo, pop punky vibe, so and
uh-huh.
I went really hard into that, so I wouldn't
Okay.
say that I was, wouldn't wear the weird stuff, I just was going in a different direction.
I wonder.
Well,
I wonder
that's
how much crossover there is in our musical interests from that time, because I feel like there's probably a lot of the same bands we listen to.
Probably a lot. I was like a teeny weenie. I had,
So
the
so
big
was I.
hair. I had blonde hair sometimes with a black bang, and I was one of those kids.
Leilani, we need did you have the big hair that got real skinny at the ends?
I may have. I may have. I have I'll send you a couple pictures.
And like a big bow in your hair?
Oh, I
Yeah.
loved a bow.
Yeah.
I loved a bow. I did.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because, you know, I saw these things and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna be able to try that, I wanna do that." But I didn't, and I think probably just because, like, again, like, I didn't want everybody to look at me, I didn't wanna be wearing something out of the ordinary.
Right.
Um, and as far as clothes and
Hi
stuff,
guys.
"Hey guys, does anybody wanna slow dance with me?" Um, and as far as
I
clothes
can't.
and stuff, like
Oh.
in 2001, like, I grew up a bigger person, and I am a bigger person, and so, like, even if I was, like, wanted to dress like that, I couldn't find those styles, right? So, even though I wanted, what I ended up dressing like was very much what you're talking about,
I
which
love that.
was like a little bit boyish, kind of like skater. I did not skate, but like a poser, like skater, pop punk vibe. Now I did not get heavy into the scene,
Well,
but
you see me now. I'm very into I'm a themed person, so
mhm,
I go all in.
yeah,
Believe me, I went all in.
all in. Yeah, I never had the hair like that, but I took plenty of
I'm
MySpace
happy.
pictures from
That was the
above.
time. I've gotta
Mhm,
say, and with Lizzie McGuire, that was one thing, a couple of the episodes, they are so nostalgic. Like, I think it was the first episode.
mhm.
The big part of that was that they were, like you said earlier, Lizzie wanted to try out for the cheerleading squad,
Yeah,
and she didn't make it. So her and
yeah,
Miranda are, like, on AIM or AIM or whatever.
yeah, they're on AIM,
And
yep,
and they're like, she's like, Lizzie's like, yeah, well, the reason why Kate got it is because she stuffs her bra.
right,
And then Miranda somehow sends it to the whole school's like
yeah,
address book. And
yeah,
then the next day, of course, everyone knows, including Kate. So it
yeah,
starts this big war between them.
yeah,
And it's just, it brings you back to those days for sure when you're like on AIM, you
uh-huh,
know, talking to your friends. I love that
yes,
part of it.
I did too, and did you notice, she has a purple cordless VTech phone?
Oh, that's in my notes.
Is it?
It's literally in my notes, overall thoughts. It's on there. Also, one thing I love that Lizzie, I have to mention it before we wrap
Okay,
it up, is that she, in several episodes, had a like circular baby blue inflatable backpack that I was like
yes,
obsessed with. It is
it
so,
almost had like a turtle shell, like, it almost
yes,
was
like a turtle shell look. Oh, I loved it.
had a bricks or something. Yeah, inflatable backpack?
Inflatable backpack. Like, it
Yeah.
was amazing.
Oh my
Amazing.
god,
So
I
many
swear.
things.
So many things.
The fashion's unreal. We could just sit here and talk about that all day, but
Oh, yeah. But
yeah.
also the tech, though, the AIM, the purple VTech cordless. I
Yes.
mean, just
Gordo a lot of times has his little like
camcorder.
camcorder, which
Mhm.
took me back because I used to have a little camcorder like that I would love to take to shows or to
Mhm.
school or whatever. So that took me back too. I love that kind of like 2000s technology.
I
So
know. I
fun.
love it. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So
Now
fun.
we really need pictures of you as a scene kid.
I'll send them.
Yeah, we need that.
If
We
April
need
can
that.
do the Jean Bonnet and you guys can do your school dances, I'll send you that.
There's probably some pictures of me. I didn't go full fashion wise into the scene thing,
Yeah.
Well,
but I did with like I played in bands, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was
all only wore band shirt, like that was
yeah,
my whole
yeah.
wardrobe for sure.
Yeah,
A
like,
lot of
as I
accessories for me,
ball chain
like
necklace.
ball chain necklaces,
Mhm.
The stud belt,
studded
Yeah.
belts, and
Mhm.
checkered
bracelets.
bands.
Bracelets,
Um,
jelly
Yeah.
I,
bracelets.
Oh, yes.
jelly
Would you do
bracelets.
jelly bracelets?
I
Yeah.
love jelly bracelets.
Mhm.
Yep, I had a couple. I had some of those. Um, what else? Yeah, I mean,
It
yeah,
was a
obviously
great time.
band shirts, jeans where the bottoms were all ripped to
Oh,
hell
yeah.
from dragging the ground,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
and
you'd eventually have to
Converse All
cut the
Stars.
back out
Yep.
because they had just they had
Yeah.
been ripped. I
Well,
remember
it
mine
just
would
you'd step on it and it gets you tripped. So you just
Yep,
had
yeah,
it
to,
and so
would.
then you just have to cut the back out, and then it would look even dumber. I can
yeah.
remember, and this goes into a little later high school. I was still watching Lizzie McGuire. Don't worry. I
Oh,
went
I
and saw the
definitely
movie in theaters, and I can remember the day that it came out on DVD, had to go to Walmart and go buy it on DVD that day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Had to.
For sure.
But this was a little later into high school, but yeah, it was a lot of um, band T-shirts, or like clearance rack from Hot Topic, or like I remember I had actually this was pre. I had this T-shirt, and it was clearance rack from Buckle, maybe
Okay.
because I couldn't afford any of that. But
Right.
I'm like going to the clearance rack to get a shirt for $7,
Mhm.
and it was blue, and it said in white print, it said, "Boys are dogs. Keep them on a leash." And I wore Justin, do you remember that shirt? I
No.
wore that shirt all the time with jeans and a studded belt that I was allergic to, so it always would break me out because the
I'm
nickel
done.
in the buckle would just break, and so I was like, "I'll do it for the fashion."
Exactly.
And like a
For the
choker
culture.
for the
That do it for the
culture.
culture.
And this was at the time that I started a la Lizzie McGuire. I would put tiny braids in my hair.
Oh, see, I always liked braids. I do agree that's
Mhm.
something that, like, crosses over, for sure.
Yes, you could get away with just a couple, like, I would just have, like, straight, well, quote, like, I had
Right.
straightened my curly hair, so it was about like it looks like right now. And then I would have, like, 4 or 5 little braids that I would put in on top, because that's one thing that Lizzie always did. She had a million braids. She
Yes.
would have twists. Something she did that I used to do where she would just crimp parts of her
Just
hair.
quick parts. Okay, I have that written down too. I
Or
love that.
curl
It
in the
was just
opening credits. In the
yes!
opening credits, it's straight, and then there's just some
There's
parts
just
on
these
top
little
that are
pieces.
curls.
I love that.
It's crazy.
It's actually crazy, but I'm like,
I do love it.
I love that. But yeah, one thing I loved about especially when it first started, I feel
Mhm.
Miranda had like first scene you see Miranda in
Yeah,
episode 1, I had to write this down. She had like 2 high pigtails on either side.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then the pigtails were full of little tiny braids, so they were just sticking out
Yes.
everywhere. And
Uh-huh.
then the ponytail holders were, orange and like big fuzzy, like kind of like Britney
Pom-poms.
Spears. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but bright orange. And Lizzie was more like understated in those beginnings, like just more like smaller braids with some little
Uh-huh.
like charms or
Mhm.
barrettes,
Mhm. Mhm.
But as time went on,
Honestly,
yeah.
Miranda was probably a little bit more Miranda was a little more rock and roll, like
She was definitely rock and roll. She would do the colored hair.
and she would have, like,
Mhm.
the camo pants on and
For
the
sure.
band tee. She was almost a little bit more what we probably ended up leaning toward, was a little more
Mhm.
Miranda,
Mhm.
um, like, she was probably ended up being in a band,
For
um,
sure.
yeah, she definitely played bass and experimented in college. That's what Miranda, I think, ended up
That's her
doing.
vibe for sure,
That's
yes.
her vibe. We didn't get to
Mhm.
see it, but that is her vibe, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, it was the hair was giving like, what's the doll that she has on Rugrats that has the crazy
Um,
like the little
oh
Barbie
my
doll and
god,
her hair's
Angelica's doll.
Angelica's doll.
What is her doll? Cynthia?
Cynthia.
Or is that the
The
mom?
hair
Cynthia, yes.
Cynthia is the
Cynthia.
doll.
Okay.
The hair on the show is giving Cynthia.
It's giving a little Cynthia, just kind of
There are a lot of pigtails with other pigtails or
yes.
braids inside of them. It's like it's an inception.
That's what I was thinking.
Pigception.
Exception.
Exactly.
Pigception. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
well, obviously, this show was wildly popular, and
Yes.
therefore
Yes.
we had merch.
Oh, yeah.
Now, not as much merch as I would like, but we did have merch. Um, something I learned today, there were McDonald's toys.
I still got
Um,
to look that up.
there
That's
were
amazing.
toys and like CDs and stuff that you could get through McDonald's.
Wow.
There was obviously like a whole bedroom set, which we talk about. That's a huge thing. Like, which it still is. Like, you go to Target and you look and there's Pokemon and
Right.
Minecraft and Bluey, and I'm like, that was just a huge thing of having like a bedroom set or bedding that was your favorite show.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Um, board games, there were two different soundtracks. We had Lizzie McGuire and
Okay.
Lizzie McGuire Total Party.
Okay. Well, that's the one we're picking,
That's
obviously.
obviously the one because Total Party. There were 3 Game Boy games.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
In
feel like we
2000
were
Really?
kind of, as we said, like a little older, so I just like don't remember this merch
Yes, I
as
don't
much as
either.
like Mary Kate and Ashley or someone like that, that I really
Yes.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. There was like a doll for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, now I did get a few things from this. This was recent, within like 5 years ago. ColourPop did a Lizzie McGuire collection. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yes.
And I did get a blush and some lip products and stuff from
Well, I
that.
have one
And
other thing, right? So, I know it's not a visual show, but I
that's
have
okay.
this guy.
Oh my god, it's at the Loungefly.
It's the Loungefly, and it's a pretty new collection, and there's I have the backpack, and then there's
Uh-huh.
some really cute, like, small bags that almost have, like, that 90s feel because 'cause they're, like,
Oh
the
my
kinda mini purses.
oh my lord.
But it's so cute, y'all. It has animated Lizzie on it.
Oh my
It's like
god.
a hot pink glitter material. There's a little tiny phone that hangs off of it that says Lizzie on it. I mean,
Oh.
it's really super cute. It's
Oh
super
my
cute.
god, look at the flowers on the
Yeah.
strap.
And
I
I don't
love that.
this is a side story too, really quick, but I know that y'all like to go to Disney as well. Uh-oh, my Funko just fell, but I know y'all like to go to Disney. And
Yes.
I don't know if it's just at Disneyland or if it's at Disney World or what, but they have done a couple of those Disney Channel nights. And I don't know,
Yes, like 90s night.
yeah, I don't know how often they do those, but it looks really fun and people will dress up like a lot of the DCOM characters or Lizzie or whatever.
Mhm.
So I think that the Loungefly would be perfect for like a cosplay kind of thing,
Absolutely.
for that.
And your shirt, of course,
And a shirt,
which
yeah,
I
my
love.
shirt, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to get that when I'm
You'll
down
find it
there.
when you go.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go. Yeah. Well, we talked a little bit about this revival that was supposed to happen. It was
Pour
announced
one
in
out.
2019. I know. Pour one out for this.
Pour one out. That's a
It was
disappointment.
announced at D23 in
Mhm.
2019 that
Yeah.
they had greenlit a revival that was going to follow her Lizzie at 30.
Yeah.
She was living in New York City. She was working as an interior designer
Mm,
and she was engaged. And the start of the show, she finds out her fiance has cheated on her and decides to move back to Los Angeles, kind of be closer to her family and sort of start. And Gordo was going to be
perfect
in it.
setup
So
for
Gordo's
Gordo. Yeah,
dildo. Yes.
exactly.
Um, so they had started filming it, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
had like a pilot or
Yeah.
something. So because they were sharing photos from set, and like
Yeah.
Leilani was saying, like, the fashion was just like such an adult version of like fun and like unique
Oh,
Lizzie.
yeah.
Um, very exciting. Everybody was on board with the exception of Lilane. So it was very exciting. And from what I can understand, from what Hillary Duff has said, they really wanted to go in a more realistic way. I mean, I think they wanted to have like, I don't want to say like sex scenes, but like allusions to like she's a 30-year-old woman. Like
Right.
she's had sex. I don't think they were trying to be like risque about it. And Disney was like, no. They
No.
were just very against that.
I just wonder what Disney's plan was, because it's like, I don't know, but it's really sad
Yeah,
that it didn't happen.
I know. Because
So it got so far as to they actually made an episode or two, and then because of that, they canceled the whole thing.
well, Terry Minsky, who was the creator of the original show, was coming back to do the revival, and I guess because their creative vision was not in line, she ended up leaving,
Mm.
and it kind of floundered there and was at a standstill for a while. And then in December of 2020, and I'm sure pandemic had a lot to do with this because I'm sure they couldn't film anything, they finally just said we're not doing it. And it got canceled. So yeah.
Are either one of you How I Met Your Mother fans at all?
I
I
really,
watched it all.
yeah.
Not the last season.
Well,
Well,
we
certainly
don't
not
talk
the
about
last
the last
episode.
season. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
God.
But they did the
How I Met Your Father.
the spinoff, How I
Mhm.
Met Your Father, and I don't know if y'all watched that, but I personally really loved it. And
I didn't.
okay, I was super into it. I thought it was so cute, and I thought Hillary did such a good job because honestly, I'm like a huge Hillary Duff fan, but
I am too. Yeah.
sometimes I think like she's not the best actress, like
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
to say that, but
No. Yeah.
um she's not like the best. Some of her parts have been so deeply cringe and stuff that
Yeah.
she has done.
I mean,
But
she's not Meryl Streep. You know what I
she's
mean?
not she's not
It's
near
okay.
Meryl. It's okay.
I
There's
love
enough
her,
room
but
for all
yeah,
of us. But she was so cute in How I Met Your Father, and like low key, sometimes I would think like this is like adult
the role
Hillary.
for her, like
Yeah,
a
like,
good,
or
yeah.
excuse me, adult Lizzie, where it's like it was
Oh
kinda
yeah,
had that vibe,
yeah,
because she was really cute, really fashion forward, and like,
yeah.
of course, had her own quirky little fashion and stuff, and it kinda
Right.
had that vibe. But,
Oh
that got canceled too. But,
yeah.
yeah, it's a
You
bummer.
remember just talking about this? So when How I Met Your Mother originally ended, they were
Yes.
going to do How I Met Your Father then.
And they did some sort of version of it, did they not? Or there was
I
one
don't think they
episode?
did, but Greta Gerwig was
Yes.
cast to play the lead. I
There
don't think
might
they ever, maybe they filmed a pilot,
I
but
think there's a pilot actually, because I think I've
yeah.
watched an episode.
Yeah, it might be a pilot, but I
Yeah.
don't think anything ever aired.
It was called, like, How I Met Your Dad or something, wasn't it? It was
Yes,
something
and
different.
then I thought it was so weird that, like, a decade later, they
Yeah.
did make that show,
Yeah.
not with Greta Gerwig, obviously, she's on to bigger and better
I
things,
know, but that's
but with
crazy.
Hilary Duff. I think that I didn't watch it because they the end of How I Met Your Mother was so fucking terrible,
Oh, yeah.
and also, that show did not age well. Boy, did it not age well,
Okay, I
which
haven't had a rewatch in a
is
very long
not, I mean, a lot of stuff we talk about on this podcast doesn't age well, so
Right,
I'm not
most
gonna hold
things.
that against it, but
Yeah.
the feeling I had when I was watching that show is gone, and, like, it's
Okay,
something, like, I can't get back, I think. So I
that's
think
too bad.
I do think that I had the thought, "Well, let's see if it gets a second season, and then I'll watch it," and then
Mhm.
it got canceled.
Yeah, like, was there a second one? I don't know, but
Maybe
there
there was
was
a second, but that
I
was
think there
it.
might have been a second, but then it got canceled, and
Yeah. Now April watched that, didn't she, Justin?
I think so. I
I
watched
think
like
she
2 or 3
watched.
episodes with
I
her
thought
one
it was
night.
cute. I liked it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but,
I think she watched the whole thing.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been almost Lizzie adjacent,
Mhm.
you
I
know?
really wish they would have done the
Yeah.
reboot, though.
Well, now something I learned when making the notes today that there was originally going to be a spin-off of Lizzie McGuire
Never
back
heard of
in the
that.
day. Did not know this.
Did not know that.
So, about the time I think that the movie was airing was about when they hit the 65 episode mark and kind of had stopped production on the show. And they were trying to figure out like where to go from here, and they wanted to maybe follow the characters into high school. That was one thought that they'd had. They then, I think, when they couldn't get Hilary Duff, they thought maybe they would do an all animated version of the show.
Interesting.
And then the thing that they landed on was that they were going to follow Miranda's younger sister, who I don't think had been mentioned in the show, named Stevie Sanchez, and she was 12 years old, so she was going to be starting middle school, and it was going to follow her and their family, and it was cast at Selena Gomez was playing her.
That is crazy.
And they did film a pilot, and it came down, I guess Disney, it came down to that show and Hannah Montana, and they went with Hannah Montana.
Well,
and that show did not get made. But yeah.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, it is a fun fact. I did not know that. Yeah.
I had fun with that fact. Thank you.
That was a fun
fun fact.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's, I mean, that's Lizzie McGuire.
That's it.
Justin, you've learned some stuff.
Yes, now, I appreciate it.
Yes, well, you're welcome. Now I would like to talk to April at some point on if she watched this. She's a year older than you and I, Leilani. So I don't know if she watched this at the time.
Well, I'm an 86 baby. I think you're 87, but we definitely graduated the same year.
Oh, okay. So April's an 86 baby too. She just was a year above
started school before me or something.
Yeah. When is your birthday? Are you a September baby?
October.
Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. And April's a June. So
okay, yeah. We're all right around there. Same. Same
I've
time.
never heard her talk about Lizzie McGuire, but maybe she has.
So Leilani, you said you had some notes. Is there anything we did not talk about that you had in your notes?
We've touched on just about everything. The only episode that I did want to say that I thought was funny was it was in season 1, and it was about where Lizzie, it was like they were talking about their talents and like what they were good at, and Gordo, he like does all of his like film and stuff, and Miranda likes to sing, and Lizzie's like, what's my talent? And then she ends up figuring out in PE that she's really good at rhythmic gymnastics.
Oh my God, yes.
And like she
ribbon dancing.
Yes, and she has the ribbon, and it just reminded me of those cringy videos of like, welcome to Disney Channel or whatever. Where
the Disney Channel videos, and then you came out with the behind the scenes of them, and they were just like,
it's so awkward. And that's basically what she did. And she's so uncoordinated, Hilary Duff. And like there's all those videos online like of her dancing.
The dances.
And it's so funny. So she's definitely like uncoordinated doing this like ribbon dancing. Or sometimes they'll have her like with a hula hoop and she's like putting them on her arms. And like it is so funny.
And they just literally in the pilot, they show her trying out for cheer.
Yes.
And she's just flailing around. And I'm like, and then a few episodes later, you're going to give her secret talent is rhythmic dancing.
Rhythmic gymnastics.
I mean, do you think, I feel like maybe they did that on purpose as just a prank, like just a joke on her.
Just fucking with
like they saw her trying to be coordinated. And they were like, you know what would be really funny?
In the episode, she like hated that she was even good at it, which I also loved because
that's funny.
Don't worry, you're not.
Like, really. No worries. You are not.
Exactly. You are not.
It could use some work. Yeah.
But I enjoyed watching that one.
Oh God. And the bra shopping one, I remember that one very specifically.
That's iconic. I watched that.
Yeah. The concept of being an outfit repeater.
Yes.
Is very much the same thing that I feel like for me at least started with Lizzie McGuire of like, she can't be an outfit repeater. What is it? Kate calls her an outfit repeater.
Kate calls her an outfit repeater. That's like a big quote of the show. I'd say one of my takeaways for sure.
Yeah. I kind of feel like as far as the fashion in the show, it almost was like the tween teen version of Sex and the City. Where like like Carrie would wear something and you're like, that's the most batshit crazy thing I have ever seen. I love it, but no one in their right mind wears that. And
That
that's
is
kind
so
of
true.
what this show was.
It is so true. And the picture day, do you remember the picture day episode? That
Yes.
reminded me of this. And it's like Lizzie is forced to wear like this like homemade, like looks very itchy, like wool
Sweater
that like her grandma McGuire gave her, and it has a unicorn on the front and a little bow at the top, and she's like mortified that she has to wear this. And Miranda has worked really hard, and she got Adelia's outfit.
Delia's that she
And they
even says that she's like,
say that.
"You're so lucky you got that Delia's outfit." And what is the Delia's outfit, Leilani?
It's like a orange like tank top, not spaghetti strap, thicker strap, and then like a zebra print,
like a blue and white zebra print, like midi skirt.
Yeah, and then Kate is wearing the same exact outfit for picture day. So we have
now that whole episode, she's going, you know, it's like they go during whatever period of school. So like she's got till the end of the day, right, to get her picture taken.
Yes.
So she keeps asking people if they'll like switch shirts with her for the picture, and everybody thinks she's a freak. And the whole time I'm like, why won't Miranda let her wear her tank top for the fucking picture?
That's so true. Just, and you know, I thought
like that's your bestie.
Now I didn't think of that, but I did think of the fact that Miranda has this whole Delia's outfit that's supposed to be, yet it's just an orange tank top that you're going to see in the photo. Like there's nothing special at all about this tank top. No rhinestones.
Even have anything particularly crazy going on with her hair that day.
No, she had like a kind of she had shorter hair, and it was kind of flipped out.
She had like one barrette with like
one little orange barrette on. And that was it. That was it.
I was like, bitch, you can't let her wear your tank top for the picture. She's asking strange folk for their shirt. And
that's where that rivalry started right there.
That's right there. She's like, you're going to wear that ugly unicorn sweater.
She said, I'll remember that. Of course, Gordo, though, he saved the day because he went to like, I think they were doing
theater costume department.
Yes. And he brought her like a white,
he brought her a couple shirts to choose from.
He did.
And that's where the love starts. Because I don't think we've mentioned that Gordo ends up having a huge crush on Lizzie.
Oh yeah, that's the majority of the show. Yes.
That's the majority of the show ends up being like, does she like him? She's like, I don't know. Do I like him? Like,
he's always overlooked. You know, he's an overlooked.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I love Ethan Kraft. Like, who gives a shit about Ethan Kraft?
Yeah,
it's all about Gordo.
Yeah. It's all about Gordo, obviously. And at the very end of the movie, which is like right after the show ends, at the end, he kind of saves the day in the movie too. And she does kiss him at the end.
She does.
Although to me, it was very friendly. It had a friend vibe. I think he's still in the friend zone, if you ask me. But
now, I haven't rewatched the end of the series, but doesn't he tell her he likes her at the end of the show?
You know what? I don't know.
I thought he did, like before they go on the trip. But I can't remember now. Yeah.
I can't remember either.
I feel like I have a memory of them like everybody sitting like for a group, like class picture, and they're sitting there and they're talking. Maybe it's like he wants to tell her and he doesn't or something happens there at the end. I can't remember.
Poor Gordo.
Poor Gordo. He is majorly friend zoned.
Yeah, he never got his,
No.
in that revival.
Maybe he can have Isabella or whatever the Roman, the Italian woman
version of Lizzie.
Dear God. Well, Justin, I hope that you learned a lot in this episode.
The quiz is coming.
So much. Yes. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this quiz.
I'm going to get Justin a crochet headband so that he can feel like Lizzie.
Perfect.
A choker necklace. Yeah, some platform sandals.
That's all you need. That's
that's really all you need.
That's really going to bother my plantar fasciitis.
We'll get you some with some arch support.
I need some support.
Yeah, I need some support. Okay. Yeah. Well, Leilani, thank you so much for being on again.
Yes, thank you.
Let's not go. I mean, I know you were just here for the 100th, but before that had been a while. So let's not go so long next time. Justin, since you've barely gotten a chance to speak, please give us some plugs.
Yeah, I can do plugs.
Okay.
You can obviously find this podcast wherever you found this. Any of the podcast places, really.
Yeah, just a regular podcast.
Your preferred podcast place.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on social media. We are at Cool Kids Club Pod on Instagram, on Blue Sky, and on Threads. We are also on Facebook. Just search for Cool Kids Club Podcast. If you want to follow Amy or I individually, you can find us on Instagram. I am at Lousy with Ghosts, and she is at Amy with 4 O's.
4 H's.
H's.
Oh.
4 H's. I'm so sorry.
Wow. Shoot, that was a close one. Now, Leilani, where can we find you on social media?
Okay, mine is Leilani_scraps, and I share like scrapbooking and crafty things. So,
oh god, it's all so aesthetically pleasing. I'm like, me in another life is I would, if I didn't have such a problem with follow through on hobbies, this would be my life. But
I understand that, stuff.
Yeah,
stuff out there.
And A++ follow Leilani _scrap.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome vibes for your Instagram feed. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't mention Brian Hey Guys Wakefield and his wonderful theme song. So thank you, and thanks for going to the toy show with us. That reminds me, if you are not aware, we have a bonus video episode out right now.
And extra cool.
And a new extra cool featuring our toy show hauls.
That's right.
From a couple weeks ago. So
and some jelly beans.
Stuff. And some jelly beans. Yeah.
Love it.
And I think that's all the plugs, right?
I think that's it. Leilani, since you're our guest, what should our good listeners do until next time?
You should stay cool.
And don't repeat outfits.
Outfit repeater.
If you believe